Hello and welcome, true believers. It's Sickshock here with Tavern Gaming, and today we have a very special episode of Marvelous May in store for you guys. As we come to a close on our month-long celebration of everything Marvel-related, I'd like to say how much of an amazing opportunity this was to share with you guys this passion project. When setting out to create Marvelous May, I took Stan Lee's messages about positivity to heart and sought out to share with them with the Tavern Gaming community. Stan's messages about bringing people together and being a positive force within your communities has a large impact with me. His views on kindness, togetherness, and teamwork can be found throughout all of his works and teachings. I truly believe that these are principles that should guide us in everyday life and how we should operate as a community. All were a giant influence to me to bring this series to life. When this series began, I spoke about my favorite Marvel superhero. Now, in keeping with Stan's lesson on the essence of community, as we close this marvelous chapter, I am now turning the microphone over to you, my fellow Tavern friends. Recently, we asked fellow members to answer 3 Marvel-related questions. Number 1. Who is your favorite Marvel character, and why? Number 2. What are your favorite Marvel games? And number 3. What are your favorite Marvel movies? So without further ado, Tavern, assemble!
Hey guys, my name is EJ, and my favorite Marvel superhero is Spider-Man. He became my favorite childhood hero when I saw the 2002 film, and since then I've watched all the films with him in it. I mean, when I was a kid, I tried looking for clothes and costumes that make me look like him, so I could wear them every time I watched a Spider-Man movie or show. I also collected some Spider-Man toys, either they're from a toy store, from inside a cereal box, or from a food restaurant like Burger King. In addition to that, I also collected Lego Spider-Man sets, and I love to play Spider-Man games like The Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man PS4, because those games makes me feel like a web slinger myself. My favorite Marvel video game is Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, Marvel Spider-Man's Miles Morales, and Lego Marvel superheroes. And my favorite Marvel movies is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, The Avengers, and Black Panther.
Hi, this is TattyBooJangles here, the one and only. So for my submission for Marvelous May, I wanted to share some of my favorite Marvel things. So my favorite Marvel superhero has to be Wolverine, but not just any Wolverine, it has to be Wolverine from the 1990s X-Men animated series. If you have never watched that show, I strongly recommend it. It is on Disney Plus. It is absolutely incredible, and it actually helped to jumpstart the Marvel craze of the 90s that actually led to all the Marvel movies we had, which is why in 1997, I believe it was, we had the first X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman. For my favorite Marvel video games, it has to be Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. These are fantastic games and actually discontinued from the PlayStation Store, but there are codes out there that you can get. I highly recommend playing through them. For my favorite Marvel movies, in order from number 3 to 1, Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man 2, and my number 1 favorite is X-Men Days of Future Past. If you're wondering why, watch the 90s animated series and you'll know why.
Hello everybody, my name is Delta. My favorite Marvel superhero growing up and to this day has always been Spider-Man. I was first introduced to the character through the Spider-Man animated series, which first released the same year I was born in 1994. I liked him because of that show and for no other reason than his costume. I was a kid, what can I say? Overall, Spider-Man has always held a place in my life. I mean, imagine a toddler in the late 90s with a Spider-Man plushie hanging around his neck as he pretended to swing around. That was me. That was Baby Delta. My favorite Marvel video games are as follows: Spider-Man for the PlayStation 1, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. My favorite Marvel movies are as follows: Spider-Man 2002, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Deadpool.
Hello, my name is Titandog. Who is your favorite superhero, Marvel superhero, and why? I have to say Spider-Man. The reason why is he was the first comic book character I was introduced to when I was a kid. It's the first comics I ever read. I just loved the adventures he got into, his powers. I liked his, his supporting cast. You had Mary Jane, Aunt May, J. Jonah Jameson, Betty Bryant, Gwen Stacy, and then he had these wide range of rogues gallery. He was one of the few that you just grew up with. You saw him grow up in the comics, and you grew up with him, and you shared his triumphs and defeats and everything like that. And I just always had a soft spot for Spider-Man. Now, my favorite video games. Let's start with Spider-Man 2. When that came out, and I loved that. The gameplay and everything. You felt just you were close to being Spider-Man. Then we had the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which was all the mix. You get together all those Marvel characters together, fighting together to fight evil. And then they had the sequel, Ultimate Alliance 2. Now, when it comes to the MCU, you probably can pick up from what's in my video games. I pretty much anything to do with the Avengers. So you had the first Avengers, you had Avengers Infinity War, you had Avengers Endgame. It felt to me like it was like reading the comics. Every year the comics get the big annual edition where they kind of culminate, the storylines come together, and that's what they did in the movie form. And those are the movies I can sit back and watch and laugh, cry, and feel good about.
Hello there, my name is WookieeJedi from Tavern Gaming Community, and my favorite superhero is Deadpool. One of the main reasons I love Marvel so much is because they have such a wide cast of heroes, villains, and other characters. If I had to narrow it all down, though, I would have to say Deadpool is my favorite hero. He's funny, he's witty, he's charming, and has an incredible amount of charisma and mic skills that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could only dream of. Another side note about him, while his story is filled with tragedy and challenges, he never gives up and keeps going. He never backs down, he never gives in, and he remains a total lovable badass no matter what. Deadpool is pretty much everything I aspire to be. He is strong, carefree, and puts maximum effort into everything he does. Favorite Marvel video games are Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and X-Men Destiny. And my favorite Marvel movies are Deadpool 2, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Hello, my name is Foxhart. My favorite Marvel superhero is Spider-Man, because out of any Marvel superhero and any superhero period, Spider-Man emphasizes what it means to be a hero. Self-sacrifice. Spider-Man is willing to sacrifice everything being Spider-Man, even if it's inconvenient, painful, or dangerous. Spider-Man will risk his life to save complete strangers. He will sacrifice his house, life, and love, because that is what it means to be Spider-Man. My favorite Marvel video games are Spider-Man, and my favorite Marvel movies are Spider-Man 2, Avengers Endgame, and Captain America Civil War.
Hello there, my name is Melon, and I've been part of the Tavern community for about 6 years now, and when asked what my favorite Marvel character is, I had to go with Spider-Man. There are a few reasons why I really like Spider-Man. I think he's a unique character, both the character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man himself. Spider-Man has really weird kind of powers that stick out from everybody else. The main reason I picked Spider-Man was actually because of Peter Parker. I relate to Peter Parker a little bit in that he's this kind of geek nerd guy that is kind of an outcast but also is undercover and like saving the day. He's underrated. And so I really like that aspect of Peter Parker, which fits into the whole scheme of Spider-Man. When it came to my favorite video game, Marvel video game, I actually found that I haven't played a lot of Marvel video games, if at all. So yeah, I just need to play more of those, I guess. Maybe if I had a PS4, I'd probably be playing Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man games on there. And then my favorite Marvel movies, in no particular order, it would be Avengers Endgame, Captain America Civil War, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Endgame because it's the end-all be-all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in terms of like that phase. It's like one of the biggest cinematic experiences like I've ever seen, especially in a movie theater. It's crazy. I love Captain America: Civil War because it's the first Marvel movie I started with in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it holds a special place in my heart. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's just a fun movie. It's funny, it's got a banger soundtrack, and it's just fun to watch.
Hello, my name is Waffle. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man because he was my first Marvel superhero I've ever watched. It started off with cartoons on Saturday mornings and then transferred to the movies and video games. And he's also the most relatable to me. My favorite Marvel video games are Deadpool and Marvel Heroes Omega, as well as any or all Spider-Man games. My favorite Marvel movies are Deadpool 1 and 2, Spider-Man movies with the one and only Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, and Doctor Strange. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Wow, gang, it's amazing to see all the love for our favorite wall-crawling hero. There's definitely more love than what that J. Jonah Jameson fellow would have gave him, that's for sure. At the end of the day, it is important to remember no matter who your favorite character is, just know that each and every one of you are real-life superheroes, and you all have the power to do many great things in your life, so never waste an opportunity to do good. I would like to thank all the community members that participated in this video. I'd also like to say thank you to Rune for helping me with the production side of Marvelous May. With all our contributions combined, we created this. Take pride and happiness knowing that together we accomplished this project together as one team. That sort of makes us like Avengers, right? If you did not get a chance to participate in the video, that's okay. Chat with me in the comments down below about who your favorite superhero is. And until we meet next time, true believers, thank you and have a marvelous May.
Excelsior!